guess the owl did.
Woo! It's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another episode of My Two Satoshis. It is July 9th, 2020. Razzcast spitting fire on this one, man. Thanks for the song request, Ryan James. Razzcast fly. Check this one out, people. He dropped a couple bars about cryptocurrencies in it, so I thought that was dope as well. What's going on, people? Hope you guys doing well today. Welcome to another episode. You gotta be very cognizant of what's going on with these cryptos out here. All cryptos are not created equally, and in more particular, all stable coins are not created equally. We're going to look at this article out of Decrypt Media. It talks about USDC being blacklisted. That's right, being basically frozen. I'm going to explain why, what, and when this happened, and what this should mean to you. And this was done by the issuer of the USDC token. And again, we'll get into the details about that. That's crazy. Also, Dogecoin going ham right now. I don't know if you guys have been under a rock the last couple of days, but Dogecoin has gone up almost 100% in the last month. In particular, in the last 7 days, over 100% off of a viral TikTok video. And they're trying to pump this coin to $1. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But what does this mean? Should you be buying? Should you be selling? I'll get into the details. In addition to that, now you can trade Dogecoin on margin, and they have saving accounts over at OKX. We'll touch on that as well here in this episode. Lastly, Coinbase reportedly preparing for an IPO. Is this the top? Typically, you'll see a company go IPO when they're trying to extract the final few dollars from the value of their company. In many cases, not all. This is for sure a successful move for Coinbase because now they can pay their VCs, the individuals and companies that invested in Coinbase back in 2014-13. They are going to have a huge payday, but we'll take a look at this, and I'll give you my two Satoshis on what this means for crypto markets, if anything. All these articles coming up on this episode of My Two Satoshis. But before we start, if you guys find these types of videos informative, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this. Let's take a look at the heat map today. We are back down. I'm going to explain why we hit some, or pressed up against some critical resistance areas that I told you to watch out for. Bitcoin is down 2.1% to $9,233. Ethereum down 2.3% to $240. EOS is also down 2.5%. We got Litecoin down 2.7%. Binance down 2.9%. Some heavy hitters though that are really down today. ADA down 6.9%. Tezos is down 5.4%, and Doge, just talked about it, down 12%. But again, it's been up over 100% in 7 days, so not bad there. Link is also down 5.6%. A lot of the ones that are down heavily today are the ones that were up heavily this past week, so it makes sense, right? Never buy on the rise, buy on the dips, and sell into the rallies. That's how you become a proactive trader. It's pretty counterintuitive, I know, but that's what you have to learn to do. But let's take a look at this technical analysis for Bitcoin. Well, what do you know? We bounced right off the backside of that resistance line at 94.63 that I've been telling you guys to watch for quite some time. We could not close above that. We needed to get above, like we saw here, get above that area, but we simply couldn't do it. Doesn't mean it's over, but for me, that is a semi-bearish sign there. If I draw a trend line right here, you'll see we tried to break above, and then the final drop was on the break of this trend line. At this point, we could try to move up again, but not bullish anymore until we trade above that 94.63 area on Bitcoin. That is on the Coinbase chart. And also, I want to remind you guys, to your right on the screen, you have the Dudex and Crypto Blood partnership we got going on. I've got some things going on behind the scenes with them as well pertaining to my algo. I'm trying to sync that up. But if you sign up, use the link in the description below. You'll get a max of $100 in credits if you sign up. And also on top of that, I have a special promo going on. I'm giving away $50 every 2 weeks to the highest volume trader on Dudex that has signed up under me. I'll be doing another drawing in 2 weeks. That is on July 21st. So make sure you guys sign up, start trading. I've already given $100 to the same person because no one else has beat them in the volume of trades every 2 weeks. So again, check them out. But I want to take a look at this article that sheds a lot of light on why we have to differentiate stable coins and cryptos in general. All cryptos are not created equally, but even more specifically, all stable coins are not created equally. So we have the creator of the USDC stablecoin, which is I think the second most popular coin when it comes to stable coins, has blacklisted an Ethereum address holding over $100,000 worth of tokens. Blacklisting meaning that wallet can no longer move those coins. So essentially, they're done. They've been confiscated or pseudo confiscated. This is exactly what decentralized advocates warn about. Centra, the issuer of the USDC, has blacklisted an Ethereum address holding $100,000 worth of tokens. Centra called a blacklist address investor function on an Ethereum address holding USDC, effectively freezing the money in the address. The entity, which is a joint venture between Coinbase and Circle, said it was complying with law enforcement. Wow, Centra can confirm it blacklisted an address in response to a request from law enforcement. While we cannot comment on the specifics of the law enforcement request, Centra complies with binding court orders that have appropriate jurisdiction over the organization, according to the company's statement cited by CoinDesk. Now, USDC is backed 1-to-1 with US dollars held in banks, and issuing and redeeming token for dollars requires complying with Know Your Customer procedures. Advocates of alternatives that don't rely much on third parties have long criticized USDC and others like it for being susceptible to censorship and interference. The blacklisted Ethereum address, whose owner is unknown, is an example of just that. And so it goes on to talk about in this article how blocked addresses do raise other questions when it comes to DeFi, right? Decentralized stablecoins like the DAI use USDC as collateral issued. So this means that law enforcement could potentially interfere with USDC held in MakerDAO. Still, the stablecoin is just under 12% of the total ETH collateral, which means DAI would likely survive the shot. This is only going to get worse, ladies and gents. Still, the fact that it can be frozen undermines the very point of cryptocurrencies to provide a censorless financial system that's a viable alternative to the incumbent one. So this is a serious issue. I knew that this could happen. I just was never aware of it actually happening. So now that I know this has actually happened in this case and in prior cases with USDT, you're going to have to do more research, and I'll find a list of coins that aren't really backed by a dollar, but they are stable coins. I've done a number of videos on this in the past. I think one that I do recall, and I've done a video on this years ago, was called Send Token, which is on the Send Protocol. It's sendprotocol.com, and their whole situation is different than other crypto, or I should say stable coins, because it's all stable based on a smart contract and a mathematical equation. So it's locked in from day to day. So you'll at least have a stable currency for a day or two or so. I can't remember exactly how it works. I'll have to look into this a little bit more and figure out if this was one that actually is live and actually running. But Send Protocol was one. There are a number of, and I'll put a list together for you guys, a number of stable coins that don't rely on an actual physical backed dollar, but on code to stabilize the token value. This may be a better option for you, because as we can see, your funds can be confiscated just like in a bank. So that defeats the purpose, right? So just wanted to bring that to you guys and make sure you understand the risk in holding your tokens on one of these stable coins. And so let's take a look at the next article for today. Dogecoin hits highest price since 2018, and it's all because of a viral TikTok video. The famous Shiba Inu dog inspired meme coin pumped to over 0.3 of a penny yesterday morning, up from the peak of over half a penny earlier today before cooling off. It says that from trough to peak, this represents a pump of 94.3%, one of the biggest in Dogecoin's cluttered history of dramatic price swings. The sudden positive momentum, and is now the 27th largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization after climbing 14 positions. Much of the growth appears to be the result of a Dogecoin challenge that is currently going on the viral popular social networking app TikTok. As part of the challenge, TikTok users are urged to invest $25 into cryptocurrencies with the goal of pumping its price up to $1. So far, it appears to have been somewhat successful, since Doge trading volume has more than quintupled in the last week. Let's get all rich. Dogecoin is practically worthless. There are 800 million TikTok users. Invest just $25. Once it hits $1, you'll have 10 grand. Tell everyone you know. And so what this to me shows us is that a lot of these cryptos have very low liquidity, and just a small influx will cause these coins to really moon. But what you have to do and be ahead of this is that if you're in a coin that has no real activity right now, don't think after the pump that it's going to continue to pump. The odds are that it won't. And so you should be on the smart side of that trade and at least take a lot of that position off the table and maybe get back in once the hype dies down. I think Dogecoin has been around since like 2014. It was my third biggest crypto holding, second to Litecoin, and I mined Dogecoin for many years, and the community was awesome back then. I remember we sent the Jamaican bobsled team to the Olympics that year. We sponsored a NASCAR driver. I think Jeff Weiss was his name. So the community was really, really beautiful back then. Like it was a lot of camaraderie and just a sense of oneness with that community. So the coin is still alive. The creator of the coin has left and gone on to do other things. But what this shows you is that value is perceived. This is a very speculative market. In this instance, this Dogecoin instance really highlights that, in my opinion. And it also goes on out of Cointelegraph to talk about OKX now allowing margin trading, which is going to really wreck a lot of people. Cryptocurrency exchange OKX launched saving accounts and margin trading for meme cryptocurrency Dogecoin. According to the announcement shared with Cointelegraph on July 9th, OKX announced that leverage spot trading, perpetual swap contract trading, and saving features will launch tomorrow for the meme-based cryptocurrency Dogecoin. And also, to go a step further, Binance cryptocurrency exchange also announced that it will launch Dogecoin perpetual futures contracts tomorrow. Those contracts will allow up to 50 times leverage. Oh Lord, this is going to end. This is going to end in a tragic way for some. Maybe not for all, but for some. Don't buy the tops. I'm just letting you guys know. Do not buy the tops. Let this thing cool off. Hey, these markets can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. So be careful when shorting something like Dogecoin. I would rather play the long side of this. Just wait for a pullback and, do your leverage on that if you want. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. Long live Dogecoin, boy, I tell you. And lastly, I want to talk about Coinbase reportedly preparing for a stock market listing later in 2020. Preparations for a Coinbase stock market listing are in full swing, sources say. So it looks like the U.S. company is preparing for a stock market listing that could come this year, according to Reuters. The preparations for a listing are underway, but still need the green light from the Securities and Exchange Commission if successful. This will mark the first time that a cryptocurrency exchange will be listed on traditional markets. Some mining companies have conducted or are preparing for initial public offerings, but none have been in exchange. And it goes on to say it is yet unclear if Coinbase will opt for an IPO to accompany public trading. While raising additional capital is often associated with listing, its existing shares could simply be made available for trading with no additional funding. Coinbase was valued at more than $8 billion in the latest private round. So boom, this is major news for them, at least. Not much for us on the other side, the consumer. I don't think this is going to have any benefit to you. Okay, I'm not personally a fan of Coinbase, but this kind of marks the continuing shift or direction toward Wall Street when it comes to cryptos and the services that are offered in cryptocurrency. So not a huge fan, but it's going to be a big payday for all those involved in funding of Coinbase. Is this a top in crypto? Does this mark that? Not necessarily, in my opinion. I just think that it's showing the true motives behind a lot of these companies in the crypto space. It's not to really get away from Wall Street and the banking system. It's actually to integrate and fold into it and extract more wealth. So that's just my 2 Satoshis on it. Interesting move by Coinbase, and will be a watershed moment for sure. Many will follow after if they have a successful IPO. But hey, that's all for today, ladies and gents. Shout out again to my man Ryan for the song request. Razzcast fly. If you guys want to send song requests, just make sure you use the hashtag song request, and I will get to it eventually. This is from 6 months ago. I've been taking care of all of my premium YouTube members first. They have priority when it comes to song requests. But again, drop that in the comments of any of my videos, and I will surely get to it. If you guys found this video informative, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this. I'm out of here, people. Holla!
Not an Arabic, still trying to get it, inshallah.